Hey Yankees fans, welcome to Yankees Rumors and News, your go-to spot for the latest buzz and updates about our team. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a scoop. If you are a New York Yankees fan following this offseason closely, then you already know that patience has been tested to the limit. Emotions are running high, and one name has become a lightning rod for frustration across social media, podcasts, and comment sections everywhere, and that name is Cody Bellinger. What once felt like a logical reunion between a storied franchise desperate for impact talent and a former MVP trying to cash in on a strong rebound season has slowly turned into a drawn-out standoff, and now it feels like the breaking point has finally arrived. Reports indicate that the Yankees and Bellinger's camp have reached an impasse, with negotiations stalling after months of waiting, signaling that the front office may finally pivot toward other options, rather than continuing to play this waiting game that has irritated a large portion of the fan base. From the perspective of many Yankees fans, the offer on the table has never been the problem. A proposed 5-year deal with an average annual value north of $30 million is viewed by a significant segment of the fan base as more than fair, and in some cases outright generous. Especially when viewed through the lens of Bellinger's career arc, this is not a player coming off a decade of elite, consistent production. This is a player who experienced one of the most prolonged and alarming downturns of any former superstar in recent memory, followed by a resurgence that, while impressive, still carries undeniable risk. Yet despite that context, Bellinger, represented by Scott Boras, is reportedly pushing for a 7-year contract with an even higher annual value. A stance that has sparked outright backlash from fans, who believe the ask is wildly disconnected from reality. Scroll through social media and the tone is unmistakable. One fan summed up the collective disbelief by calling the situation mind-boggling, suggesting that Bellinger's demands crossed the line from confidence into delusion. The idea that a 5-year offer worth well over $150 million could be framed as insufficient has left many shaking their heads, especially when some fans openly admit that they already view the Yankees' proposal as an overpay. Others have taken a more resigned tone, essentially telling Bellinger to go find that 7-year deal elsewhere if it truly exists, and to stop dragging out a process that has stalled the Yankees' broader offseason plans. The frustration only intensifies when Scott Boras enters the conversation. Boras, long known as one of the most aggressive agents in professional sports, has become a familiar villain in the eyes of many Yankees fans, and this situation has only reinforced that reputation. Fans have openly questioned his strategy, with some calling him out of his mind for pushing beyond what they already consider an inflated deal. The idea of 5 guaranteed years at elite money, with no deferrals, is already seen by many as pushing the limits of reason for a player with Bellinger's volatility. Some fans have gone even further, arguing that even 5 years feels excessive, and that anything beyond 3 years would expose the team to unnecessary long-term risk. Those concerns are not rooted in blind pessimism, but in very real memories of Bellinger's struggles not that long ago. Just a few seasons back, he endured a prolonged slump that spanned roughly 2 full years, during which his batting average dipped below the Mendoza line and his on-base plus slugging hovered barely above replacement level. For fans who remember watching those numbers pile up, the thought of committing 7 years of top-tier money feels reckless. As one fan bluntly put it, there is so much risk tied to this player, and paying him like a perennial MVP candidate ignores the reality of how fragile his production has looked in the recent past. That is where much of the anger truly stems from. Bellinger is being accused of asking for MVP money long after his MVP season has faded into history, while his National League Most Valuable Player award with the Los Angeles Dodgers remains a defining moment in his career. It is now several years removed, and the intervening seasons have included significant offensive decline. Fans have pointed out that in his final year with Los Angeles, his batting average and on-base percentage told a very different story than that of a superstar. To them, it feels like Bellinger is demanding top dollar based on what he could be again, rather than what he has consistently been. As this standoff drags on, a growing portion of the fan base is simply ready to move on, rather than waiting indefinitely for Bellinger to blink. Many want the Yankees to redirect their attention and financial resources toward younger stars with a more stable trajectory. Names like Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette have been floated repeatedly, viewed as players who offer both elite upside and a stronger likelihood of sustained success moving forward. Fans argue that if the Yankees are already willing to pay an average annual value north of $30 million. There is little justification for not pivoting to players who are younger and perceived as safer, long-term investments. The calls for a pivot have grown louder and more emotional by the day. Some fans are practically begging the front office to stop waiting and take decisive action, expressing exhaustion with what they see as unnecessary hesitation. The underlying message is clear: if Bellinger is unhappy with a massive annual salary, simply because the deal falls short by a couple of years, then perhaps he is not the right fit for this roster. Or this moment, the Yankees, in their view, should not allow one player's leverage play to dictate the entire offseason. Still, not everyone is convinced that this story is over. A minority of fans believe that the market may ultimately force a compromise, speculating that Bellinger could circle back once it becomes clear that no other team is willing to meet his demands. The theory goes that desperation on both sides could lead to a middle ground. Perhaps a 6-year deal with an average annual value somewhere in the mid-30s. That outcome, however, would still depend on whether another team enters the picture with a truly aggressive offer, something that many fans doubt will materialize, adding fuel to the fire. A recent report suggested that the Yankees are now operating under the assumption that Bellinger will sign elsewhere. If that is true, then the long wait may finally be nearing its end. For Yankees fans, that development brings a mix of relief and lingering frustration. Relief that the front office may finally regain flexibility and direction, and frustration that so much time and energy was spent on a negotiation that ultimately went nowhere. Regardless of how it ends, the Bellinger saga has become a defining storyline of the offseason, one that highlights the tension between star power, financial risk, and the unforgiving expectations that come with wearing pinstripes. If you're enjoying the updates, drop a like and let us know in the comments your thoughts on this rumor. The New York Yankees have once again sent shockwaves through the world of Major League Baseball, and this time, the rumble is impossible to ignore. Whispers of a new dynasty have been circulating for weeks, but the confirmation of Corbin Carroll joining the Bronx Bombers has turned mere speculation into a feverish frenzy. Fans and analysts alike are scrambling to process what this move could mean, not just for the Yankees, but for the entire landscape of the league. Some insiders are calling it the start of a new era, a fresh chapter where the Yankees aren't merely participants in the race for glory, but the architects of a narrative that could dominate headlines for years to come. The energy around the team has shifted dramatically, as if a new heartbeat has been installed in the very fabric of the franchise, one that pulses with audacity, ambition, and an almost reckless confidence in its own potential. Corbin Carroll, already a rising star in his own right, brings a unique blend of speed, athleticism, and a baseball IQ that is rare for players even twice his age. Analysts are speculating about how his arrival could redefine the Yankees' approach at the plate and in the field. Could this be the missing puzzle piece that allows the team to finally execute the kind of dynamic, multifaceted game that has been talked about in theory for years but never fully realized? Some suggest that Carroll's addition is more than just a tactical move. It is a statement, an assertion that the Yankees are not merely looking to compete, they are aiming to dominate a league that has grown increasingly competitive and unpredictable. The optics of the deal are nearly as important as the statistics. In the world of professional sports, signaling confidence can often have tangible effects, from player morale to the perception of opponents. And few franchises have mastered this psychological aspect as effectively as New York. The excitement among fans is almost palpable. Social media feeds are overflowing with reactions, ranging from euphoric celebration to cautious optimism. Conversations are happening in sports bars, offices, and even casual gatherings, where armchair analysts debate the long-term implications of the signing. Some suggest that Carroll's presence could catalyze an entire roster transformation, influencing trade targets, free agent pursuits, and even the team's strategic philosophy for seasons to come. The Yankees have long been synonymous with reinvention and resilience, but this move hints at something deeper, a deliberate effort to construct a roster capable of sustained excellence. The speculation surrounding lineup adjustments, batting orders, and defensive strategies is intense. Yet it is precisely this kind of discourse that fuels the narrative of a team on the brink of redefining what success looks like. In modern baseball, industry insiders are hinting at a domino effect that could ripple across the league. Other teams, previously unconcerned with the Yankees' moves, may now feel compelled to respond, whether through aggressive acquisitions or internal restructuring. The idea of a new dynasty is seductive, yet it comes with its own pressures and expectations. Could Carroll be the spark that ignites a championship run? Or will the weight of expectation create cracks in even the most meticulously constructed blueprint? Analysts are already drawing comparisons to past moments in Yankees history. Moments when a single player's arrival shifted the trajectory of the franchise in ways that reverberated for years. The parallels are impossible to ignore. And yet the uniqueness of the current moment adds a fresh layer of intrigue. There is a sense that we are witnessing the genesis of a story that will be recounted in sports media for decades. A story that might very well define the current generation of baseball fans. Beyond the numbers and projections, there is an almost mythical quality to the narrative forming around the Yankees and Corbin Carroll. The media frenzy is reminiscent of the days when the team would make headlines simply by existing. A force of nature in a sport that thrives on the unexpected. Every move is scrutinized, every detail analyzed, and every rumor amplified. The speculation surrounding Carroll's integration into the team is equally meticulous. Some insiders suggest that his work ethic and approach to the game could serve as a blueprint for younger players, instilling a culture of excellence that extends far beyond his individual contributions. In essence, Carroll might not only elevate the team's performance on the field, but also influence the ethos of the franchise itself, reinforcing the Yankees' reputation as a breeding ground for talent, discipline, and relentless ambition. What adds fuel to the fire is the timing of the announcement. The Yankees, always conscious of narrative and perception, seem to have orchestrated this moment with precision by positioning Carroll as the centerpiece of a new vision. They are not simply acquiring talent, they are shaping the conversation, framing themselves as a forward-looking powerhouse in a league that is constantly evolving. The speculation among pundits ranges from how Carroll's style will mesh with existing stars to the strategic implications for future seasons. Could this move trigger a reimagining of the team's approach to base running, hitting, or defensive alignment? Might it influence the type of talent the Yankees pursue in upcoming drafts or free agency cycles? The possibilities are endless. And the beauty of speculation is that it allows fans and analysts alike to explore scenarios without the limitations of certainty, creating an ongoing dialogue that enriches the culture surrounding the sport. In the end, the story of Corbin Carroll and the Yankees is about more than a player joining a team. It is about the creation of a narrative that captures the imagination, the speculation, the rumors, the hypothetical matchups, and statistical projections. All of these elements combine to create a tapestry of anticipation that is as compelling as any game played on the field. Baseball is often described as a game of inches, but in moments like this, it feels like it is about the convergence of timing, talent, and vision. Carroll's arrival is a catalyst, and the sense that a new dynasty might be emerging in New York is both exhilarating and daunting. The league has been warned, the fans are electrified, and the story is only beginning to unfold. The conversations will continue, the debates will rage, and every game from here on out will carry an added layer of intrigue. Corbin Carroll's impact cannot be measured solely by statistics or highlight reels. It will be seen in the subtle shifts in team dynamics, the way games are approached, and the energy that reverberates through the clubhouse and the stands. This is the kind of move that defines eras, the kind of speculation that fuels the imagination of a fan base, desperate for moments of transcendence. Whether the Yankees will achieve the dynasty that so many are predicting remains to be seen. But one thing is undeniable: the acquisition of Carroll has reignited a sense of possibility, a belief that greatness is not only attainable but imminent. And in the world of Major League Baseball, where stories often outlive statistics, that belief is sometimes enough to set history in motion. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with every Yankees rumor and news. See you in the next video.